Up on triangle style. Triangle style.
Here's part 2 of proving triangles congruent. So part 1 was 5.3, where we proved triangles congruent by transformations and by the definition of congruent triangles. Now we're going to look at some shortcuts. So the objective today is to be able to prove, I can prove triangles congruent by SSS, SAS, ASA, AAS, and HL, but not by SSA or AAA. So, if you have not done the 5.3 application, stop watching this, go back, do the 5.3 application, and then come to watch this video. This video assumes that you've already watched the 5.3 application. I'm going to be going pretty fast, and if you haven't done the 5.3 application, then this video is going to be awfully confusing to you. So go back, do the 5.3 application, and then come to do this video. All right. So triangle congruence. So we're going to be basically taking a look at these different concepts to see if we can create congruent triangles using 3 of the 6 elements of a triangle. So here we're going to start off with 3 angles. Now, one thing I want to note is that there are going to be white slides and purple slides. First of all, the white slides are very, very similar to your notes sheet, whereas the purple slides are not on your notes sheet. The reason is that these purple slides are from Mr. Erlin, and he has spent a really long time making these really awesome slides, but they are a great connection between the 5.3 application that you've done, right, and what we are learning today. So first, let's look at, so thank you, Mr. Erlin, for creating these wonderful slides. These are really, really cool. Okay, here we go. So we have 3 angles. So in this triangle, 1, 2, 3. What we're going to do now is to see, is it possible, with these 3 angle measures, is it possible to make a non-congruent triangle? If we can make a non-congruent triangle, then we can't use AAA as a triangle congruence. And see, so we bring over, so far these 2 triangles are congruent, but what we can do is we can change it up a bit. Move that triangle over, move that angle over, and look, these triangles are not congruent anymore. So basically, not enough information to prove congruence. Having 3 congruent angles is not enough information to prove the triangle's congruent. Okay, what about 3 sides? If we have 3 sides, so most likely when you did the activity in 4.3, you found out that 3 sides is good. We have 3 sides, we bring it over. Come on over. You know you want to. Move over. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we have a congruent triangle. And there's no other way that we can manipulate these sides to have a non-congruent triangle. So yes, 3 sides is enough information to prove the 2 triangles are congruent. Over here, it says prove. So SSS works. So that was the very first one that you did in the 5.3 application, and yes, side does work. So this is the first one that you're going to fill out. If 3 sides of one triangle are congruent to 3 sides of another triangle, then the triangles are congruent. So like QR is congruent to UT, RP is congruent to US, PQ is congruent to ST. Therefore, we can say triangle PQR is congruent to triangle STU, making sure that corresponding parts correspond. That P corresponds to S, Q corresponds to T, R corresponds to U. So to use SSS congruence postulate, all three pairs of corresponding sides need to be congruent. So if we have three pairs of corresponding sides, we can say the triangles are congruent. So let's take a look at this. Let's use SSS to explain why the triangles in each pair are congruent. So how can we prove that triangle JKM is congruent to triangle LKM? Well, it's given to us that JK is congruent to KL, and it's also given to us that JM is congruent to LM. But we need a third side. Where is that third side going to come from? Well, Km is congruent to Km by the reflexive property of congruence. So once we have that Km is congruent, it's basically congruent to itself, so 1, 2, 3, we can then say that the triangles are congruent by side, side, side. Now, take a moment to try to prove number 2, that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle CDA. So it's given that, so basically this is your answer. So here is your answer. All right. So we know AAA, 3 matching angles, doesn't work. And we know that SSS, 3 matching sides, does work. But what about all of them in between? What about other combinations? So there are 2 angles and 1 side, which can be angle, angle, side, angle, or side, angle, angle. And what about 1 angle and 2 sides? Angle, side, 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 or side, side, angle. So in the next video, we will investigate these 6 to figure out which ones prove congruencies and which ones don't. You may be surprised, not all of them work, but some of them do. All right, go on to the next video to watch to find out more.